If I have to turn on the camera and basically embarrass myself into cleaning, then that's what we're doing. I have been avoiding the basement for months. Today I finally decided enough is enough. Every time I would come downstairs, I would look around, realize how much stuff was down there, and immediately go back upstairs. So I thought, why not film myself cleaning it? Because apparently I need an audience to hold me accountable to doing things that I should probably just be doing anyway. But honestly, there is a reason that this basement is this bad. I gave birth about 4 months ago, and before that I was pregnant. We moved and I had absolutely no energy to properly get the house set up. We moved while I was pregnant, and instead of actually organizing everything and figuring out where everything needed to go, I basically just put things in the basement and then I closed the door. I was like, absolutely out of sight, out of mind. I told myself I would deal with it eventually, and then I had the baby. And obviously, after giving birth, cleaning out a basement was probably the last thing on my mind. I had a newborn, I was exhausted, I was trying to recover, I had a toddler, and I was just trying to survive. The basement became this place where I just shoved things whenever I didn't know what else to do with them. And I honestly pretended it didn't exist. Every time I came down here, I was like, nope. Absolutely not. And I would go right back upstairs. I would only come down here if I absolutely had to. And that is actually how it got this bad. It wasn't one day where I decided, let me make my basement a complete disaster. It was just little things. One box here, one baby stuff here, a bunch of Amazon packages. Believe me, a lot of Amazon packages. And then suddenly months have gone by and you're standing in the middle of the basement wondering, how the heck did it get this bad? And speaking of boxes, we have so many. We have moved 4 times in the last 4 years, and it took us about 3 years to finally learn our lesson. Keep the boxes, people. Just keep those damn boxes. We also get a lot of Amazon packages. Amazon is honestly my go-to for literally anything. That's why 99% of the boxes that we have is Amazon. I know we're gonna have to move again at some point because we're renting, and this is just the renting life. So I'm trying to be practical. At the same time, there comes a point where being practical starts to look a little bit ridiculous. And then of course I had a baby, so there are diapers, wipes, baby products, things people gifted us, just a lot of stuff. The problem is when you have a space where you can just throw things and close the door, it's so easy to keep doing that because you don't have to look at it, you don't have to deal with it, you just close the door and run back upstairs. And that's exactly what I did for months. Okay, months. But I think the bigger problem for me has honestly been trying to figure out how to balance everything. Having 2 kids is not easy. My oldest is in daycare, which is like, thank God, but my youngest is home with me, and when she naps I have very, very little time to do what I gotta do. And honestly, a lot of that time has been going towards social media. I'm trying to build my platforms, I'm trying to create content, I'm trying to work on this side hustle, and sometimes I'm looking at my house thinking, when am I supposed to clean again? Because there are only so many hours in the day. But I think I've also gotten into this habit of telling myself that I'll clean something later, and then later becomes tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes months. So I think I finally realized that I don't necessarily need to clean my entire house in one day. I just need to start tackling the little areas that I've been avoiding, because when you keep waiting until you have the time to completely transform your house, you're probably going to keep waiting. And that's kind of what I'm trying to change. I'm trying to stop looking at the entire house and thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Instead, I'm trying to look at one little area and say, okay, we could do this. And today that area was the basement. So this is me locking in. And honestly, filming this is part of my accountability, because if I wasn't filming this, there's a very good chance I would have looked at this mess and said, nope, maybe tomorrow. And I know myself, tomorrow would probably turn into next week. So here we are, cleaning on camera so I actually get it done. And I will say, there is something about cleaning when you really don't want to clean that makes you question your entire life. Like, why did I put this here? Why did I keep this? Why do we have this? Why did I think I was ever going to use this? And why are there approximately 47 Amazon boxes? But once you actually start moving things around, it gets so much easier. I think sometimes the hardest part is just starting, because once you start seeing the floor again, or you start seeing an empty like shelf or you finally organize one little section, you get motivated to keep going. And that's exactly what happened to me. I started with one area, then I moved on to another, and slowly it started looking like an actual room again. And I think this is also something I've been learning about myself lately. I really need my environment to be clean in order to feel like I'm functioning properly. When everything is messy and everywhere, I feel like my brain is messy too. I can't focus. I don't feel as productive. And even if I'm not consciously thinking about the mess, I think part of my brain is constantly aware that there's something I need to deal with. And that can be very exhausting. But when everything is clean, I feel like I can breathe. And that's literally how I felt when I finished the basement. I felt like this huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because for the first time in months, I could walk downstairs and not immediately feel overwhelmed. I knew where things were. If I needed something, I actually knew where to look. I didn't have to dig through 5 different boxes. I got some really cool books that I really want to read. I didn't have to move a bunch of random things just to get to something. And I didn't have to pretend that the mess wasn't there, because it wasn't there. And honestly, it made me realize how much our physical environment can affect our mental space. Not saying your house needs to be perfectly clean all the time, because trust me, my house is not perfectly clean all the time. With 2 kids, that is not possible. But I do think there is a difference between a house that is lived in and a space that you've been actively avoiding, aka this basement. So I'm really glad I finally dealt with it, and I think this is going to be the beginning of me tackling more of these little spaces around the house and that I've been putting off, because I have a few, actually I have many. There are little areas around my house where I look at them and think I really need to deal with that, and then I just don't. So I'm going to start filming those too, because clearly this is what works for me. If I have to turn on the camera and basically embarrass myself into cleaning, then that's what we're going to do. I also have a carpet that I've been wanting to clean for the longest time, and I love this carpet, but nobody has money to pay for dry cleaning. So I'm going to attempt to clean it myself, and honestly, that might be a terrible idea, but we're going to find out, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I took away from cleaning this basement is that sometimes you just have to stop waiting for the perfect time. Once I finally started, it honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And now I can breathe. I can actually walk down without wanting to turn around and run back upstairs. The basement is officially handled. One thing off my list. And now we move on to the next thing I've been avoiding, because apparently cleaning one room has given me enough confidence to think that I can tackle the rest of the house. Am I Delulu? Who knows? We'll see how long that lasts. But for today, I'm taking the win. My husband hasn't been in the basement since I cleaned it, because I know that if he goes down there, he's gonna be like, whoa, he's gonna be shook. He's gonna be shook to his core. So I know for a fact that he hasn't been. So when he sees this video, I'm sure he's gonna be like, wait, what? And then run to the basement. Okay, I'm actually yapping way too much, so I'm just gonna let you watch the end of this video in peace without my annoying voice in the background.